In anticipation of his sixth and alleged final album released under the Weeknd moniker, Abel Tesfaye has just premiered 9 tracks expected to be on his upcoming project, which we now know will be called Hurry Up Tomorrow. This past weekend on the 7th of September, Abel held a special event in São Paulo, where he exclusively performed songs from his new trilogy of After Hours, Dawn FM, and of course, this upcoming record. The show was a massive success, with a great set list, a surprise appearance from Playboi Carti, and of course some amazing transitions in between tracks thanks to Mike Dean with the synths. However, this special concert in Brazil, it's not the only way that Abel has been building up hype for this upcoming project. Over the summer, Abel has been posting all sorts of cryptic photos and videos, leading many fans to wonder what exactly can we expect from this upcoming album. So, without wasting any more time, let's get into what we know about Abel Tesfaye's upcoming and final album, released under the Weeknd moniker, Hurry Up Tomorrow. Now, in my previous video talking about this final Weeknd album, it was really looking like Abel was gearing up for a summer 2024 rollout and a release of the album in about July or August. And for a few months there, that was the alleged plan, according to insiders. However, for whatever reason, the album's rollout and release would be pushed to the fall, and that would be made very clear when Abel would make a huge announcement on July 17th. On that date, Abel would announce a one-off special concert in Brazil set to usher in this new and final era for the Weeknd. The show in Brazil, however, was announced for September 7th, which at the time of this announcement in mid-July seemed like an eternity away. Regardless of my impatience though, the location of this event, São Paulo, it has a significance as to Abel, the city symbolizes rebirth. Everything kind of links to St. Paul, which we talked about the Apostle Paul when Abel posted the picture of him on Instagram in July, I believe. But specifically last year when touring South America, Abel would do a few performances in the city, and during one of those shows when performing the song Faith, Abel would ad-lib the lyrics, so instead of saying I'm losing my religion every day, he would say, I think I found my religion in Brazil today. So the whole concept basically is, he returns to Brazil for this special event, and we'll get into the happenings of this event in a few minutes. Despite the 2-month gap between the announcement of the show and the actual show itself, Abel would continue to post teasers for new music, as the day after the announcement on the 18th, Abel would post a video featuring distorted snippets of After Hours and Dawn FM tracks with trippy visuals connecting the After Hours, Dawn FM, and upcoming era. The animated video would end with a shot of Abel as a child, with caption reading, "There are 3 chapters to this story." 5 days later, on the 23rd, Abel would post another video, but this time, the score or soundtrack, if you will, of this video, it would be of a completely unheard song believed to be on the upcoming album. In the clip, young Abel can be seen running towards a light in a field before everything around him goes dark, and he is seen gripping the mask that Abel wore during the After Hours Till Dawn tour in North America. The video ends with this shot of young Abel underwater, reaching towards the surface, surrounded by figures in veils. And when he finally does get above water, we see child Abel surrounded by the various different Weeknd personas of this new trilogy before he climbs up the stairs to heaven, and the viewer is engulfed by a bright white light. Now, I mentioned how the song with this clip was unheard of previously. This was played at the show this past weekend, so I believe this is the song that at least fans are calling regular. However, hardcore Weeknd fans may recognize this song as the long-awaited Hold Your Heart, which Abel teased all the way back in 2020, right after the release of After Hours. 4 years removed from that Instagram Live, and we finally are going to get to hear this song in full very soon. I can't wait. But on August 5th, Abel would upload the third and final of these little teaser videos this time titling this one Unprepared Certainty, where we see young Abel exploring the House of Balloons house, which is of course the place where Abel created his debut mixtape, which started it all for The Weeknd and propelled his career into superstardom. The song used in this video was unheard of at the time, but it was also premiered at the big show in Brazil over this past weekend and is currently being referred to by fans as Runaway. But you see young Abel step into this grandfather clock, and he ends up in this church-looking building surrounded by mirrors of, again, those past Weeknd personas, as this black smoke is just engulfing the room. And when it clears, you see Abel being held by a woman, presumably his mother, because as the shot is seen, there's this line where it says, "My mama told me, blah, blah, blah." But what an amazing visual, especially at the start with the angel walking young Abel into the house up the steps. Like, that shit's fucking crazy. And just the significance of this being the last Weeknd album and taking it back to that House of Balloons residency, it's just iconic. Now, following this, Abel wouldn't post too much as he was preparing for the big show in Brazil up until the 21st, where he would post the official trailer for the event, announcing that it would be live streamed on YouTube. The song used for the trailer would be brand new, but it would not be premiered at the event in São Paulo. So it was saying something about take it easy, easy on me. I'm actually happy that there's songs on this album that we haven't heard yet, so the first listen can still be a fun experience. But also on the day this trailer dropped, Abel would just post the cover art for his single King of the Fall. But I just loved him posting this. Like, yeah, my album's about to come out. I'm about to fucking run fall of 2024 and be everywhere. But as we reached the week of the big show in Brazil, Abel would make two absolutely huge announcements, and the first of which would be the album name. Now, the announcement of the album title would actually be preceded by this statement that Abel wrote up and shared with the world. And to me, this is like a total prelude to the themes and lyrical content that we are going to hear on this upcoming project. So I am going to go ahead and read this thing. The official album title announcement would read, "Yesterday was 14 years ago. We held our breath, falling into a shimmering sea in the after hours of the night. Attempted to cleanse the wounds with melodies and lights, a bulletproof bandage to shield what lies beneath. In a place where the seasons never changed, where time ceased to exist. But therein lies the problem. Today has felt like an endless spin. I keep distorting the truth, immune to the dizziness, numb to the nausea. What lies beneath screams in silence. I look in the mirror and feel both old and new, stuck in limbo and unable to move. I still haven't faced myself. More songs could help, but what do I have left to say? Woe is me in the gilded cage, right? The very thing that once made me invincible failed me on the world stage. A new trauma surfaced, opening floodgates. A new path awaits. When today ends, I'll discover who I am. Hurry up, tomorrow." So there you have it, the official name for the final Weeknd album, Hurry Up Tomorrow. And with that statement, Abel is obviously playing with the death of the Weeknd story that he's been telling with this new trilogy. It was started on After Hours, continued on to Dawn FM with the whole purgatory theme. But interestingly enough, he mentions how the very thing that made me famous failed me on the world stage. And I think he's talking about when his voice gave out at SoFi Stadium in 2022. It was late into the After Hours Till Dawn tour, and at a show in SoFi Stadium, Abel is singing Alone Again, the intro, and his voice just fucking gives out. It happens. The man's got an angelic voice. He's been singing those pipes all across North America. It happens. But if you watch the videos of the incident, you have sweet poor Abel apologizing so much to this crowd when he could fucking barely talk, and people are booing him and shit. It's not what I would have done, but I can understand the people, drove there, paid the money for a ticket, etc. They're frustrated as well. Either way, the event seemed to deeply affect Abel on a personal level, and I'm sure that on this album, we're going to hear a lot about his perspective and struggle getting over that incident. 3 days after announcing the album name, Abel would come back at us with another announcement, this time the unveiling of the cover art for Hurry Up Tomorrow, and it would be Simply a close-up picture of Abel looking straight into the camera, straight into your soul, nearly teary-eyed and damn near lifeless. Now, honestly, I don't have an opinion on this album cover. Like, it doesn't captivate me. It's just a fucking close-up shot that someone would fucking put on their LinkedIn. But at the same time, it doesn't offend me. You had to be consistent with the other covers in the trilogy. It had to be a picture of Abel, you know? I will say, though, the After Hours cover art, that's like, man, I love that cover with the blood smearing down. I think that's so fucking iconic. The Dawn FM cover art, I'm not a fan of it, but at the same time, I respect it and appreciate it because of how the picture correlates to the overall story of that project. So ultimately, I'm waiting to hear the album in full before I really give my final verdict on the cover art. But on the surface, it's not a picture that's meant to fucking mesmerize. He's just looking at you. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that was the fucking desire, though. But finally, the São Paulo show goes down. And man, what a fucking show this was. What a way to kick off this new and final era as well. And I want to say, before I get into the set list, I'm just going to talk about the tracks that obviously are brand new and for this upcoming album, that I really like the way that Abel premiered these songs, because he didn't just play them like a listening party, which kind of, once you hear him at the listening party, then it kind of takes away the fun of that first listening experience when albums drop. He actually performed and sang a lot of these new tracks live, which is nice because once we do finally get to listen to the album with the first listen, it's not like we've already heard these tracks in full. But Abel kicked off the show with 2 brand new tracks. I think they're 2 anyway. They could be just one together, but I'm kind of leaning towards them being 2 separate tracks. Those being The Crowd and Wake Me Up. And The Crowd kind of acted like this prelude of sorts, like the intro track, which Wake Me Up's then the big, next song. Dawn FM and Gasoline situation, people. Wake Me Up is so damn catchy. The Thriller sample is fucking unbelievably awesome. Just another classic from Abel, another hit song from The Weeknd. But then, following those 2 tracks for the intro, Abel will get into performing some After Hours and Dawn FM tracks before resuming to the premieres with another track that we've been waiting on for a minute, with the premiere of Take Me Back to LA, following Abel's performance of Escape from LA. Yeah, the new lyrics on this song absolutely blew me away. And Abel kind of changed this one from being just a love song to a commentary on his life and his career, how he left Toronto and, went into the entertainment industry at a very young age, specifically in the music realm, obviously, and kind of lost his soul. Specifically, the line about take me back to a time when the trophies I had would still shine. Like, for some reason, that just fucking got me. I don't know why. But I absolutely love this song. I'm so happy we're getting it. And it would be followed up by another banger, another new banger, Dancing in the Flames. The beat on this song, once the chorus comes in, is damn near untouchable. And I could see, spoiler alert, why Abel is going with this one to be the single for this record, because, whew, it's a fucking bop. And then Fiend starts playing, and everyone's like, what the fuck? And out comes Playboi Carti. We've really seen Carti and Abel's relationship blossom over the past, year and a half, as Popular came out, which, from what I understand, Carti's vocals on that track weren't really from a studio session directly with Abel and Carti. But they do the music video together. We see him on FaceTime. Then, of course, Carti gets the XO chain. We see him on FaceTime again a few weeks back. And then, boom, Carti's in fucking Brazil. And here they premiered a new track together titled Timeless. Now, some people are saying that this track will be on Carti's album. It's Playboi Carti's song featuring The Weeknd. But I don't know. It could be possibly on The Weeknd's album as well. I mean, it was his show here. But from what insiders are saying now, both Carti and Abel, both of their albums are going to have tracks featuring each other. Like, they're just like that now, I guess, which is fucking great news for me. Legitimately, 2 guys in my top 5 favorite artists. This is another song that was premiered at the show with just an impeccable instrumental. Like, fucking gorgeous. And I guess it was produced by OG Volta, Mike Dean, and Pharrell. But Carti, I hate to say this, because obviously this is a Weeknd video, we're talking about the Weeknd show. Carti stole the show on this fucking song with his verse. Just his different vocal fluctuations. And also the callbacks. The fucking, she loves my song, she wanna die lit, like, amazing verse. And the Weeknd's vocals sound beautiful over this instrumental as well. But then Abel would play yet another huge collab, this time a song with Anita, that It was registered about a month ago, so we know the name of it officially. It is called São Paulo, after the city. Just a really fast-paced, high-energy song that is another one that is gonna go fucking crazy on the charts. And then a few tracks down the line, Abel would premiere Regular and Runaway. Runaway especially sounded fucking beautiful. And then finally, he would close out the show with In Heaven, Everything Is Fine, which I am so happy is making the fucking album. I love the synths on Regular and the acoustic guitar with Abel's vocals on Runaway. That song is going to be fucking incredible when we get to hear it in full on fucking streaming. But like I said, I can't believe In Heaven made it. Like, that is so fucking cool. I'm so happy about that. I really hope they add the Mike Dean vocals, the auto-tune vocals he did at his live show a few months back, because I thought those sounded awesome. He was just saying, In Heaven, Everything Is Fine, with the fucking auto-tune shit. But yeah, first reactions after seeing that show, hearing those songs, is this album is going to fucking rock. And the Monday after the event, Abel would take to socials to announce that Dancing in the Flames would be released this Friday as the lead single for the album. A music video is coming with the single that, in partnership with Apple, I guess was entirely filmed in 4K on an iPhone. But, I mean, that's cool. We're in the fucking end game of getting this album. 2+ years removed from the last installment of the new trilogy, and we are so close to finally getting this new Weeknd album. But the thing is, it's gonna be the last. It's just very bittersweet because I am so fucking excited for this album, but at the same time, I'm not ready to say goodbye to the Weeknd. I am not, and I don't think I'm gonna be. I know he's still releasing music under Abel Tesfaye. I don't care. I don't like change. We've already been over this. But in all seriousness, no matter what happens, I am super excited to hear this record in full. Hurry Up Tomorrow is officially coming our way. And if what we heard last weekend was any indication, expect greatness. And with that, we're caught all up to date with all the news, rumors, details, etc. surrounding this Weeknd album. The single, it's coming out technically tonight at midnight, but tomorrow, Dancing in the Flames, and I can't wait to hear that. But regardless, XO is fucking eating, and I hope everyone enjoys the new album, enjoys the single, if I don't do another update between the time of now and when the album actually drops. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close up this video. So, if you want to follow me on socials, you can find me on Twitter at DigitalXDWNLD and Instagram, just Casey Culkin. And until next time, I'll see ya in the next one.